Hi everybody, welcome to School of Scarlett. Today I want to talk about how everything that you see is not truly the truth, is not the true reality of everything. So I want to go deeper into this video with you here and take you really into what is going on, why some people perceive things one way and others perceive it another way, or are experiencing what seems like totally different realities. We hear that some people are living in the 5D. Some people are living in the 3D. We hear that some people are enlightened and some people are asleep, or they're awake and asleep. What is the difference here? What is going on, and why is there all these different experiences of reality? So I want to share with you that reality is really subjective. Reality is actually neutral. Everything that you see around you has no real agenda. It's not good, it's not bad, it's not trying to do anything except for being there. And it is us who hold a level of conditioning, a level of programming within us through our culture, through the traumas we've been through the upbringings we've been through the religion we were maybe brought up in, through many different things, even the schooling that we went to, where we lived. So many different things play into our conditioning and our programming. And so what one person experiences in reality and another person experiences in reality can be vastly different based on those things. You can see that even simply in something like trauma, if one person had been through a certain trauma where, a natural disaster, ruined their village and maybe killed their family, and another person, maybe grew up in an area where there was no natural disasters, but they just loved being nature and playing outside and all these things. They have different levels of how they perceive things. One may be living more in fear when they're out in nature, and then the other person may be living more in a free state out in nature. But truly, nature has no agenda. It just is. It has natural disasters from time to time. It does certain things, but it's not truly wanting to hurt anybody. It just is. And so everything that we see in this reality can be painted in different colors based on our experiences. So what really creates reality is our belief. So what we believe about whatever is arising in our reality. So if you have a belief that the color green is really, really bad luck, and then you see that I have a book back here that's the color green, you might want to click off this video, or you may perceive me as being evil, or something about what is going on, because just simply because of the color of that book, you perceive it in a way that is danger, where another person may think of the color green and think, oh, prosperity, money. And so they see green and either they don't think anything about it, or they think, oh, money is coming. So we can always have a different perspective of reality based on our beliefs. What do we believe? So the more superstitious that you might be, or the more that you have kind of delved into mainstream religions and things like that, you may have a lot of beliefs about many different things already within you. And if you didn't grow up that way, if you maybe were more free and no one really gave you any direction about anything, you may be a little bit more open. But essentially, we all have and hold beliefs about things based on our experiences, what we experienced in this life. Just simply, like I said, nature can create an experience for you. Animals can create an experience for you. For some people, they love dogs. Dogs are like angels. They love them. I love dogs, but I have friends that are terrified of dogs. They got bit by a dog when they were growing up, or they were just simply told that dogs were dirty or dogs were not good. And because of this, some of these friends will come over and ask me, is your dog around? And if so, they won't want to come in. Whereas someone else, like the other day, I had some people over, and this woman saw my dog. I was walking my dog, and she just began to pet it and to really play with it. And I noticed she had a tattoo on her foot of a little dog footprint. And she told me she is someone who rehabs and takes in dogs. And so she absolutely loves dogs. So we all have and hold different beliefs about reality, and they paint our lives in many different ways. So what happens to someone that is enlightened, that has woken up or is living in the 5D? The difference in that, as opposed to someone that's holding tight to a lot of beliefs about reality, is that their beliefs have been shaken up. Something has happened at the root, at the base of their reality, that has shaken them up and made them see the truth of reality, that those beliefs they were holding were not true. They're just illusions. They're just things that we've chosen to believe. And just as easily as we've chosen to believe them, we can choose to let them go and believe something different, or simply let it go. So those that are more awakened, you could say, or living in the 5D, enlightened, whatever you want to call it, those individuals have truly let go of beliefs. They've had to go through life, and sometimes very hard things, that have made them see that what they believed was not true. And so they've let go of this belief, they've let go of that belief, they've let go of, this way of being or not being or whatever. They've let it go. And so we find that in those people, the difference is that they don't have the level of beliefs as some other people. So life is really not that serious. It isn't really true whatever people are saying, that these are the rules to a perfect life. This is what we should do. This is the blueprint. This is the prescription. All of these things that people say are your perfect life. Maybe they were the perfect life for somebody, but essentially what we begin to believe and find out about reality is that there is no beliefs. There is nothing here that is concrete in any way. So because of that, you live more in a fluid state, in the moment. And so you may hear a lot of times in spiritual teachings and things, to be in the moment, to experience this moment here and now, because there really isn't anything else, and there's nothing else dictating it. If we can be born new in this moment at all moments, then what we experience is kind of this childlike nature of exploring, of seeing what comes our way, of not having an agenda, of not having a judgment behind something, a belief about something that's shaping our reality. We're truly just receiving what is happening in a way that's very childlike. Like we're just going to explore it and see what happens. It's not that if something happens, it's good or it's bad. There's no judgment there. There's no expectation there. And there's no resistance there. It just is. So a lot of people think that animals are enlightened because they sort of kind of live in this way. And it's not that they're exactly enlightened, but they are in a state of being where they're just taking things in, and they are in this moment. They're not going back into the past and digging up those beliefs, digging up those traumas and bringing them here into this moment and coloring this reality with what happened 10 years ago. They're just existing here in this moment more in an instinctual way, using their instincts and just reacting, which is why they're not truly enlightened, but they have a sense of being in this moment. And so people that are enlightened, that are living in the 5D, these sorts of things, they're truly living in this moment. They're not living this moment, taking their baggage in here and unpacking it here. They've left it behind and they've let it go. They've burned it, they've thrown it away. They're not bringing it into this moment. And that's easier said than done, but life will begin to unravel you. Life will begin to show you that this reality is not as concrete as you thought it was. It's not so black and white as everyone told you it was. You have freedom. You have freedom of thought. You have freedom to be who you are, free will within you to truly discover who you are. And so I truly say that everything that you see presenting outside of yourself is truly an illusion. It is more important to go within and see ourselves within, because what we are holding within us is what is projecting and creating the reality that we're in. So if we're having a reality that's really, horrible in some way, we're unhappy, it's more important to go within and see where we are unhappy within ourselves. And when we can see that and open that and release any of those beliefs that may be kind of jumbled up in there, we can begin to experience and create a reality that's more at peace. Because the truth of reality, the real deep down truth of reality, is unconditional love. It's unsurpassing peace. It's really heaven on earth. So when we take away all of the shades that have been put over us, the conditions, the programming, all of, I'm seeing like sunglasses, like, shades. When we take off those shades and we see clearly now, what we see is we see reality very raw. We see it as it is. And as it is, there's nothing wrong with reality. There's nothing here happening that needs to be changed, needs to be any other way. We are truly free to express ourselves just as reality is expressing itself as it wants to, without having to say that this thing that's happening is bad or good. When we release those judgments for everything that is happening, we actually are releasing it within. And when we release our own judgments within, we also release the judgments without. So when we can truly see reality as neutral, unconditional love, everything begins to change in our reality and we see the truth of what it is. But we are so conditioned to see things as good and bad and have all of these judgments and beliefs around it. And it's truly not true. Reality is beautiful. Reality is heaven on earth. There is nothing that needs to be changed here. And there's nothing that needs to be changed about you. You're free to express yourself in any way that you want. There are no ideas of this is bad for you to do, this is good for you to do. Release those thoughts of anything like that and just express yourself as you truly want to express without those judgments, and you will experience reality as it is. And if you're having trouble experiencing reality this way, I always encourage you to take time in silence to listen to your own inner voice and to really explore that aspect of yourself, because that is where you will connect with the divine. That is where you will experience this unconditional love that is already here and now within you. Other thing you can do is experience time in nature and observe those animals, observe everything happening. When, a coyote or whatever eats a chicken. I have chickens and it made me really sad that my chickens were dying, and I think it was the coyote or something that was eating them. But when the coyote eats the chicken, it doesn't feel any guilt. It doesn't feel any shame. It's just doing the things that it does naturally. And it holds nothing against anything. And the chickens, yes, I'm sure it's not good for them. They don't feel like that is the best thing for them, probably, but they're not experiencing reality truly through their own lens in that sense. They're just being. And as they're being, nothing is really reflected onto them in a way that they experience this being good or bad. Things are just happening. And you can always argue that there are things that are good and bad happening, but as long as you're still doing that, you will not experience reality in its neutral state. And so you will not experience reality in a truly untethered way. So when you can let go of everything, all beliefs, all judgments, everything that you have tying yourselves to, you believe this or that, or you're for this cause and that cause, unless you do that, you really won't experience the level of reality I'm talking about. And I want you to know that this will naturally occur for you when it is time for you. Life will show you in different ways how what you thought isn't actually the truth of reality. Life will continue to show you over and over and over again until so many of your beliefs are shed that you will see yourself and you'll be one of those people that's enlightened. You'll be one of those people that's living in the 5D, because you will have had to let go of all those beliefs, because reality will show you. So if this message found you well, if you learned something from it, if you enjoyed it, please share this message with others. If you liked it, give me a like, comment down below. I appreciate you all for being here, and I will catch you on our next message. I love you all.